Your policy limits don't work the same for every type of malpractice policy. Let me show you why Occurrence gives you a book and Claims Made gives you a rubber band. If you have an Occurrence policy, it's like buying a new book every year. Let's say you start coverage for the first time on January 1st, 2025. That first policy is one book. So this covers you from January 1st, 25 to January 1st, 26. And let's say you have a 1 million, 3 million policy limit. So I've paid my premium to the carrier, I've got my book, and now I stick it on my bookshelf. When you renew your policy, you get a new book. Same policy limits, 1 million, 3 million, but now this policy covers me from January 1st, 26 to 27. I pay my premium and I stick it on my shelf. Each book is its own self-contained policy. So every time I renew my policy, I get a new book to stick on my bookshelf. So after 5 years of insurance, I've got 5 books on my bookshelf. So let's say a claim gets filed and it's for a patient that you treated in the year 2026. Well, you're going to go to your bookshelf, but the only book you need to pull is the 2026 policy year. Let's just say this claim paid out $200,000 in damages. Remember, I've got a 1 million, 3 million policy limit for all the patients that I treated in this year. So if $200,000 gets paid, then my limit goes from a 1 million, 3 million to now it's a 1 million, $2.8 million aggregate. I still have $1 million worth of coverage per claim, but my aggregate has been reduced to 2.8. Each book is its own sealed unit. So even though I had a paid claim in 2026, you still have 1 million, 3 million in total available coverage for every other year that you had the policy. Occurrence limits don't stretch or change. They're secured and locked in for every year that you renew the policy. So again, 5 years worth of coverage means 5 times the 1 million, 3 million policy limit. Now let's flip to Claims Made coverage and talk about our rubber band. Instead of getting a new book each year, with this policy type, you've got a stretchy rubber band that's tied between 2 pegs. Your first peg is called your retroactive date. This is the inception date of your insurance. It's when your policy began. So if we use the same dates as before, this would be the start date of your insurance, which is January 1st, 2025. Then it runs for 1 year, going from 25 to 26. And here's our rubber band. It ties between the 2 pegs, and I've got 1 million, 3 million in coverage for any patients that I've treated from January 1st, 25 to January 1st, 26. Now, when I go to renew the Claims Made policy, I don't get a second rubber band. My peg just moves 1 hole down. So now I've got 1 million, 3 million in total coverage for any patients that I've treated from January 1st, 25 to January 1st, 27. I renew the policy again, it stretches further. Now I've got 1 million, 3 million for any patients that I've treated from January 25 to January 28. And I stretch it on and on the entire period of time that I'm carrying the insurance. So I don't get another rubber band. I have 1 rubber band that stretches over the entire period of time that the policy is active. Okay, so now let's say we have a claim with the same scenario. It's a patient that I treated in 2026, but let's say the claim is filed in the year 2027. Remember, the Claims Made policy is triggered based on when the claim is made, not based on when the services were rendered. So as long as that falls within this time period, it will be covered underneath the Claims Made policy. So let's just say it's another $200,000 loss. That gets paid out to the patient and it comes out of your limits. So now I've got 1 million, $2.8 million aggregate, just like before. But when I renew that policy again the next year, the limit stretches right back to where it was to begin with. So I've got a fresh 1 million, 3 million again for the next year. But here's where it gets tricky. The Claims Made policy, when you're all finished, you have to secure tail insurance in order to have protection into the future for any other claims that might come in for the patients you treated during this window of time. So when you go to cancel this insurance policy, I want you to imagine that we're just pouring concrete into the bottom of our pegboard. We're solidifying our pegs in place. So I've got our retro date, which is the start date of your coverage, and your cancellation date, which is the last day of your coverage. You have to have those locked in concrete and keep that rubber band active and stretched in order to have protection down the road for any other claims that might be made for patients seen in this window of time. If you don't buy the tail insurance, it's as if you had never had any coverage at all. There is no insurance if you don't secure that tail. Still not sure which policy type is right for you? We're here to help. Click the link in our bio to download a free coverage comparison guide or watch the full video on occurrence versus claims made. Or send us a DM and we can help you with a personalized quote. We'll help you understand your options and find the right policy for your practice.